Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Thursday.
For the Big Bang Theory fans, you're never going to get away from it. Never, ever. They're never going to let you. There's now a third, officially greenlit now after much discussion, spin-off of the show. Of course, the original show spawned young Sheldon, probably the more famous and successful, and then also Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. But this one, going to go fully sci-fi with it, apparently, taking the comic book shop owner character, Stuart Bloom, and putting him right in the title, called Stuart Fails to Save the Universe. This is blowing my mind just a little bit, because, well, I'll just give you a little bit of a description of it. Stuart Bloom is tasked with restoring reality after he breaks a device built by Sheldon and Leonard, accidentally bringing about a multiverse Armageddon. Oh no! This is like something straight out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which they're probably going to be lampooning just a little bit. Just a little bit. And along the way, they meet alternate universe versions of characters we've come to know and love from The Big Bang Theory. As the title implies, things don't go well. What's really blowing my mind is not that they're trying to make more money off of The Big Bang Theory. That absolutely makes every amount of sense to me. What is making my brain melt is the fact that I sort of already made this show right here in Fort McMurray. Nerdvana, the web series, was a show that I worked on with a bunch of people, like a whole crowd of people, many years ago now, like nearly 10, and it is exactly about this. It is almost the exact same premise. So, while you're waiting for this new version to come out, you can give that a quick little search in YouTube. Nerdvana, the web series, I swear, is the prototype for this brand new Big Bang Theory. No joke.
It's time for Cruz Music News with Steve Reeve.
Very likely we're going to see some My Chemical Romance music in the near future. They seem to be teasing it, and something may be coming as early as midnight tomorrow. They are also announcing a new run of dates across Asia in 2026, a giant show in Mexico as well, but it might be in support of something or other. They, of course, did take a hiatus for a little while. Gerard Way was writing some stuff and working on the Umbrella Academy and all that, but they're back at it in full effect now, it seems. But we don't know for sure until we actually see that announcement arrive tomorrow. Now, we've got Jack White in the world of the cell phone owner. It seems like a long time coming. But it was a 50th birthday gift, apparently, from his lovely wife, Olivia Jean. His first ever mobile phone is a series of hilarious photos where he's looking at it, kind of scratching his head, raised eyebrow. Weird. But he's now in the world of instant connectivity and excess. Welcome to it, Jack White. I'm sure there'll be an entire album written about this new phone soon. Dolly Parton in the news as well, sadly recalling the loss of her husband, and has said that now new music has been put on hold. Not really a choice that she's made. There are several things she says that she wants to start, but she just can't do it, at least not at this time. Of course, she's been a legend and married to this man for many, many decades. He passed away earlier this year at the age of 82. I guess YouTube is going to be cracking down on the AI slop in a certain way. The YouTube Partner Program, which is how people who make the videos that you watch on there make any money from those videos, aside from sponsorships and blah, 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 but from the views themselves. Of course, seeing an absolute exponential rise in just useless videos being added, AI-generated this, that, and the other thing, repetitive content. It's so easy to put out nowadays. People can write scripts that they can have bots that utilize various different AI sources to put this thing together without even having to really lift a finger, and then it just is out there on the internet and taking up time and space. And so they're going to stop giving money, or at least as much money, to those content creators that heavily rely on this. Not to blanket ban or blanket statement about anything that is anything to do with AI, because that's such a catch-all term that what are we even talking about? You have to get into the specifics, and that's where it really becomes a question of, is this great? Is this a useful tool? Is this just ripping off other people's work and calling it something new? And a lot of us don't have the time to get into the nitty-gritty on that, so as long as there's just less of this garbage showing up as I'm trying to watch something and eat my fries in the evening, then I'll be happy about it. That's really the goal.
Friday.
This Superman movie that's taking over all of everybody's feeds is big deal. The reboot, I guess, of something at the DC studios, but then also with some aspects of what came before kind of entering into it. It's all just kind of confusing. I do appreciate that director James Gunn kind of had a moment in the press talking about how do we need to know every little thing? Do we have to have homework for these superhero movies? And do we really have fatigue for a superhero movie, or are we just tired of mediocre ones that are just kind of watering down the whole idea, the whole concept? I got to check it out yesterday. I will get into a spoiler-free review, talking about what was actually in store for people who get a ticket a little bit later on the show, but there are so many people up in arms about it. Everything on the internet, any new movie, there's of course going to be some sort of discourse, some sort of weird conflict. But this one, it's really just boggling my mind. You've got another Superman, played it way back in the 90s, Dean Cain on TV in Lois and Clark, The Adventures of. And he's kind of had some weird things to say lately, of course. But one of the major ones is that he said, well, James Gunn really shouldn't have called Superman an immigrant because that's really going to hurt it at the box office. Like, what? It's not a swear word. Like, it's not a bad word. People can come from different places. He's from Krypton. It's just true. People are like, well, he's an orphan, not an immigrant. I'm like, are they mutually exclusive? He lost his parents, and he's from a different planet. I think that kind of makes him an orphaned immigrant, at least as far as the story goes. And when did Superman go so woke? Oh, I don't know. Probably about, 1938. It is a very big affair in the UK with the Oasis reunion tour Live 25. People have been lining up for hours and hours and hours. Overnight camping going on with people from as far-flung locations as Australia, South Korea, etc. Now, they're even getting a warning, not to say, hey, you can't be lined up out here. More like, hey, if you're going to line up out here, we're expecting very hot weather, so protect yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you got your snacks, drinks, and everything to keep yourself cool. The Deftones in the news as well because they have made good on some rumors. They are going to be putting out a brand new album, Private Music. They put out a single to celebrate, to support, and now live shows. Nowhere near here, though. Their tour is only so far showing UK and European dates, and it's going to start off in 2026. Private Music is the name of the album. I'm not so sure that all of the stops along this tour are going to be intimate and interactive, small-style private music shows. I think we're talking big arena-style stops. But will they be showing up in the North American region as far as shows to support the album? Likely. But just give them some time. The album itself, not even available just yet.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
Brain freeze. Also known as the ice cream headache, the technical clinical term is sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia. Neuralgia. I pronounced it wrong, but trying. And there are different methods that people subscribe to fix this. It's obviously a temporary thing, doesn't really affect you that much other than just in the moment you get that crunch feeling at the top of your mouth and above into your brain. A lot of people will say drinking something that is a different temperature will help. I don't know if I ever really have something that readily available, though. If I'm drinking the cold slush, the Slurpee or whatever it is, I don't have the other thing handy. And so you gotta get up, you gotta go and get that lukewarm glass of water or whatever it is. And then by the time you've got it all figured out, it's brain freeze gone, right? It's over. Some people say press your tongue to the roof of your mouth to warm the area up. It does work, but your tongue's already gotten cold too, because of what you've just been drinking. So it doesn't effectively happen immediately. And again, I'm just not sure if that's actually solving the problem or just occupying me until it solves itself. What is your technique? What is the solution to brain freeze? What is the instant satisfaction? I want to know if you've actually got a life hack, I guess. A bodily, biological life hack for when we just can't resist slurping on them Slurpees. Look up is the tagline for the new Superman movie. It is arriving today officially. Yesterday, preview night, I did get a chance to see it, so I've got a spoiler-free Steve review for you. Won't get into the nitty-gritty of the details of it, but I will say it's a very solid new entry, and I do mean new. James Gunn has now basically creatively taken over what we're going to get for the next slate of these DC Comics-based movies. Nothing to do with what's going on over there at Marvel, though he did do the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, of course. But before he did the third one, he jumped in there with The Suicide Squad, which was super successful, had a nice Peacemaker follow-up TV show as well, which is going to get its second season. And so, he kind of jumped in at the tail end of things, and then also started a brand new beginning to things. And I gotta say, first, some major positives about the new movie. It is really well cast. There's just incredible people in every single role. Every character feels fully fleshed out, and in particular, Superman, the alien himself, feels super human. He's got emotions.
You seemingly acting as a representative of the United States.
I wasn't representing anybody except for me and doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die.
That's probably the best aspect of the movie for me. It's just how human Clark Kent / Superman feels in it. Though one thing I will say as a detractor, besides all of the good that it has, are incredible visuals. Like some of the choices they made visually are incredible, and there's really, really cool universe building, world building stuff you got. There's characters that steal scenes. I'll tell you, Mr. Terrific is fantastic in this movie. But if I have to give it one major critique, it's that it is a brand new beginning, and yet it felt, as soon as the movie started for me, that we were being thrown in the middle of a story that had already been in progress for a while. Like, it feels like if you hadn't been watching the movies up to now, and you put this on in front of you, and you had questions like, well, what did I miss? What happened before this? It wouldn't be an out of this world question. Like, it wouldn't be that uncommon of a thing to have to ask, because they don't really get into that. They're just like, yeah, stuff has happened before, but this is the story we're telling now. And I felt like that was a bit of a strange thing. There's the saying, always leave them wanting more, but I don't know if you should do that right from the opening scene of the movie,
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruz FM.